And the former president, Nicolas Sarkozy, is back in court today to appeal his conviction for criminal conspiracy. This over attempts to procure money from Libya from Muammar Gaddafi. Now, following his conviction in the case last year, Sarkozy received a 5-year jail sentence. And Camille Knight is our reporter who's at the courthouse today covering events for us. She's with me on the programme live now. Camille, what can we expect then from Sarkozy's appeals trial?
Hi, Nadia. Well, this is essentially round 2 of the trial, and the stakes are particularly high because the court's going to be examining the entire case. Now, this was a fascinating case, stories of cash transported in suitcases. You had covert meetings in Tripoli. Plenty of secret meetings there. But now, what the court now is going to be looking at is all 4 charges. Now, you'll remember last year, Sarkozy was only convicted of criminal conspiracy because the prosecutors weren't able to lay out enough physical evidence to prove that there had been a direct flow of money from the late Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi to Sarkozy. They were, however, able to show that there had been a corruption pact between the 2 leaders. Now, in total, he does risk now up to 10 years in jail if all of those charges are taken into account. But, of course, we'll only get that verdict in November.
And Camille, look, we have on the programme today been digesting the results of local elections in France yesterday. We're nearly a year out from the presidential election here. So how do you think this trial of a former president, Nicolas Sarkozy, is going to impact French politics more broadly now?
Well, listen, this has been a highly politicised case, and it's important to remember that Sarkozy has a fiercely, he's got a very strong base of supporters. And it's unlikely that the outcome of this trial will change how they feel about him. He remains kind of a very important figure of the traditional right, that kind of same right that's been eroded by the likes of Macronism and the far right now. Now, Sarkozy has repeatedly said that he was a victim of a political ploy, that he was almost had been convicted for being too left-wing. He's almost seen as this sort of political martyr. And that's something that he really hammered home in the book that he published, The Diary of a Prisoner, during those 3 weeks that he spent in jail. So, like I said, verdict probably won't change how his supporters feel about him, but it will certainly taint his legacy. And more importantly, it sets a precedent and sends a very clear message to the political elite regarding corruption. It's also, as observers would put it, a clear test of the robustness of the French judicial system to see if it can withstand that political pressure.